there are several different ways to apply calendars. The standard one is, of course, using the primary source window. So you can, if you don't have this screen, this menu available here, you can come into View, Calendar, Primary Source. So double clicking it, of course, you saw that screen before. It's still the main way. Recommend using this way because you see what you're doing. Let me then add here, for example, a holiday. Remember that you can apply to all resources. So let's say that it's a two-day holiday. So you're applying to all of them, even though only this resource is selected here. But coming back, you see that you have a holiday applying to all resources. If you wanna delete this, you have two options. Either one by one, right? So deleting here, and then you open the next one and deleting here, but that can be tedious, right? So most Opcenter APS users are not aware of this functionality. You can select all resources that you want to edit at the same time. Right click, come to edit, and you see that I have vacation and holiday for all of those resources. And you can right click and delete. And now you have deleted for all resources. So that's a pretty neat way. I advise you to learn how to use this, okay? But there are other ways to edit the calendar as well. You can edit the calendar using the calendar edit mode. If you come here to the toolbar that has this edit mode button, if you click on this arrow, drop down arrow, you have the calendar edit mode and the operation edit mode. Also, this is available from the view edit mode, calendar edit mode. It gives you two different functionalities. The first one is drag and dropping the terminator time. As you see here, this is pretty useful because if you are in a position that you don't see the terminator time to drag and drop from the header of it, you can just use the calendar edit mode to do the drag and dropping. The second functionality, it is three different functionality. The second functionality is the tip display becomes, calendar information. So you see that from this date to this date, what we have, it is a 5-day template, 100% template, and my efficiency and cost factors, they are 100% as well, okay? The third functionality is being able to edit a little bit. Be very careful on this and please pay attention on what I'm gonna say. For example, if I wanna change this off shift here, all we need to do, you double click on it, and you can change only the state. Do not mess with the start and end time, okay? So for example, this can be, you decide to work on overtime and you can apply that to multiple resources, that is fine. But and also you can apply a different efficiency as well if you want to. But do not touch the start and end time from the calendar edit mode, okay? So this works fine. And I'm gonna show you now why you should not do it. So for example, if I double click this, I'm picking up this on shift. Again, if you want to see that this whole shift you are in plan and maintenance, that's fine, no problem. But I just Control Z here, so that's why you went away, okay? But if you say that you are breakdown, for example, and this is valid from 11 to 12. So let's put maintenance. If you do this, look at what happened. Opcenter will fill this gap with off shift, and it will create actually calendar exceptions to fulfill this. So coming back here to the extrusion 1 calendar, you see that it created that off shift to accommodate the changes. All right, it's using off shift because the previous period from my template, it is an off shift 1. So let me undo it. Let me change this to a breakdown, for example. Now, if I change this on shift from here to here and say that I have a plan and maintenance starting on 11 and ending on 12, it's going to use breakdown. It will add the breakdown exception, and it will add an off-shift exception because that's the one afterwards. So be very, very careful with this. I do not recommend using this to change date and times, okay? And that is valid as well for calendar exceptions itself. So let's say I have a calendar exception of a breakdown. Anyway, 30 minutes, that's fine. That's 18, right? So that should be, yeah. So even for calendar exceptions, if you double click it, and if you change the date, so it's going to start actually on 12 and we went on 18, whatever. If you come back here, okay, that worked because you see it's not trivial. That worked because my calendar it's the same, right? My previous calendar template here, period here, is the same as it was before, right? But let's say that I want to put this in this week here, right? So week of 24. You see that the weekend went away. And when you look at the extrusion, it created a calendar exception. So don't ask me why. That's how it is. Of course, if you delete it, the change will be correct. But you're going to need to do that in 2 different places. So why not just come in here and add it from here anyway? So again, if you want to double click from here and just change the template or change the details here or apply changes to different resources, that is fine. So come in here, breakdown, say that this is 50%, and I'm going to apply that. Oh, I cannot because it's only here, but in here I can. You see? So this is actually overtime, and my efficiency is going to be 85%, and I'll apply that to all. So this is fine. So if you come back here, you see there is no, there is just a single overtime calendar exception, so no problem. But if you want to change the dates, don't do it from here, right? Cool. Another way that you can quickly add a new calendar exception, and this feature most people is not aware of as well, is if you right click the resource, you have this added calendar. So this works pretty well. So you can just add a new breakdown at some places. So let's say a breakdown from 9, yeah, that's fine. 7, it starts at 7 midnight. It started at midnight, and it complete. My plan to come back is 3 days later. So doing from here, it is fine. So you are just adding a new calendar exception. Okay, so opening the profile machine, you see that it just did what you asked it to do. Okay. All right. So those are the 3 main ways. One, which is the one I recommend, is using specifically the calendar view, right? Second way, it's using the calendar template mode, but again, be careful. And third way, which is I also recommend, is adding exception from the right-click menu on the resource. And that's it for this video. Thank you.